Hey, good morning. Welcome to Area Shores Prepping. I'm your host, Greg. Dressed like this because I came in from outside because the chickens were just making too much noise to be heard, for me to be heard, so I'm coming inside. Excuse me a second. I'm telling you, that new job. Be careful what you ask for. I asked for, to get this job, good pay and everything else, but man, I'm finding out I'm no spring chicken, and walking about 6 miles a night really takes its toll on you, so just remember, if you ask for it and you get it, be prepared. I had a discussion with a group of men I like and I associate myself with, and I'm glad to be in their company. They make me a better person, and those are the people you should have in your life. But I asked a question, because they say they're preppers, but they're really not. They just have extra food to say, okay, we're going to have beans and rice today, rice and beans tomorrow, and so on and so forth. So they're not really, into it. And when I explained to them how, the basics of how many gallons of water do you need a day and da-da-da-da, and how you're going to plan out mealtime, it was very eye-opening to them, and they were not prepared for that because they hadn't gone into detail that, because they're half-assed preppers. And when I say that, it means that they half-heartedly believe that they're preppers. They mean, okay, I spent a little bit of money on stuff that won't go bad, so if nothing happens, honey, I didn't break the bank and you can't be really that mad at me. After all, I'm looking out for you. That's the half-assed prepper. And when I asked them, how many, do you have a group? Do you have family? Yeah, and they all told me. I said, okay, just do the basics. If you're saying nothing's going to happen, then why have it? If you're saying something may happen, why not have enough to get you past a week or a month? And they're like, and then I posed another question. And this one really got the wheels turning. And I asked him, I said, what are you prepared to do? If the balloon goes up, it's not a foreign invasion, it's our own government. I participated in this, and I said, I know you did. I know you did, and I applaud you for it. But what are you prepared to do if people said, I've had enough, I've seen enough? This government is so corrupt, so unworthy of being in office, people may say, it's time to wash out Washington. It is time to douche it out completely, hose it down, disinfect it, and hold people accountable. Now, we all know they won't hold themselves accountable because the Democrats on the lying January 6th committee, headed by Benny Thompson, a Democratic Socialist Party member, a card-carrying Communist Party member, verified by his 25 or more trips to Cuba, shaking hands with Fidel Castro. We all know what their word means, nothing. They're self-serving except for more power to them and taking away our rights other than to work for them. So we know the January 6th committee is a fraud. We knew that all along. We knew the Russian collusion perpetrated by the Democrats and the swamp dwellers like Vindman and his brothers, who, by the way, are writing a book about their experience, should be drummed out of the military and raised up on charges of treason and lying under oath. But they're not going to police themselves. So it falls to the American citizens to take back our country and stand up for truth and justice for all in our Pledge of Allegiance, in our stand. So I said, what are you prepared to do? You have our military men and women who kiss their loved ones, hug their children, and say, I'm off to South Korea, I'm off to Okinawa, I'm off to the Aleutian Islands. I'm off to Iraq, Afghanistan. Wherever it is, I applaud them because that is a tremendously hard step. And I cannot imagine to do that. But they do. But what if all of a sudden a call goes out across the land and says, we need another 1 million+ march on Washington peacefully, and that's for the censors on YouTube. We need another peaceable 1 million man, figuratively speaking, for those woke, march on Washington and force these people to take action in either resignations, impeachments, or saying whatever, they need to go. And we need action now. Well, they're not going to impeach themselves. Exactly. They're not going to arrest themselves. They're going to go after the 51% that Joe Biden deems, a potential domestic terrorist. Exactly. Since when does a president of these United States single out half the country and label them potential domestic terrorists and say, FBI, Greg's on YouTube saying this and this. We need to do a follow-up on him. We need to take a tag out on him, which was also uncovered and discovered thanks to Jim Jordan. The FBI is as corrupt as the day is long, from Christopher Wray halfway down to Washington. They all need to be fired. They all need to be arrested for violation of our civil rights. And if not, at least get them out of there. The unelected bureaucrats that are getting us into World War III need to be removed and not be allowed anywhere near position of authority. Newland, who's instigating the Ukraine-Russian war by theoretically blowing up Nord Stream 2, bragging about it. She's an unelected bureaucrat, unaccountable. So what are you prepared to do if said, we've had enough? This will be our second civil war. If the military that is pledged allegiance to Joe Biden, they are the enemy. They've already purged the conservatives out of the military. They've already purged the people who said, I took an oath of office to the Constitution for both domestic and foreign enemies. And right now, this government, the people in this government, and all the way back to Obama running the shadow government by installing Susan Rice to make decisions, policy decisions, unaccountable to the people, going back to Obama, these are the people that are the enemy of the people, the domestic enemy. What are you prepared to do? That's part of prepping. You say, I got 10,000 rounds of AR ammo. I got 10,000 rounds for 7.39. I've got 5,000 rounds for my 9mm. Good. Are you prepared to use it? Are you prepared to point a weapon at somebody else that's an American citizen who may be wearing an American flag on their uniform, holding the opposing view, and saying, I stand with the Democrats. You guys are all part of the conspiracy theory to make America great again. You are, in my view, the enemy. Are you prepared to stand up on a line and face off against the people that are American citizens, just like in the first American Civil War? I guarantee you Antifa and Black Lives Matter will rally their troops. I guarantee you. We've already seen that. That's the Democrats' army. Guarantee it. And we've seen enough mayors, governors, to go along with that. They'll say, yeah, we'll unleash the National Guard. We won't use it to squash Antifa. We won't use it to squash BLM. We won't use it to stop the looting that is so rampant in Portland, Oregon, that Walmart has to close its final 2 remaining stores because they can't keep any product on the shelf. They're losing so much money and putting 600 people out of a job. Thank you, you useless turd. Those are the people that will be standing in line across from you, calling you every name in the book. You're a white supremacist. You're a homophobe. You're this, you're that. Are you prepared as a prepper to face it? Or are you just going through the motions saying, please, sir, may I have another bowl of oatmeal and don't beat me or my family? Allow me to live another day? That's where we're coming to. And when I framed it like that to this gentleman, well, I want to save my church. I want to save my family. I want to save my friends. I want my neighbors. Your neighbors are sheep. Your neighbors are the ones that are going to be saying, feed me or else. Some tough decisions are going to have to be made. We are at the breaking point. We are at the turning point of going either total, full-blown communist dictatorship under the guise of a presidency, and that's how it all goes. The censorship on social media, both regarding medical truths and policy truths, are being wiped out, propagandized. Our Second Amendment rights to defend our First Amendment rights is under a constant daily assault, thanks to this administration and the liberals that say the Second Amendment doesn't apply to everyone. Okay? Unreasonable search and seizure, spying electronically on our own cell phones by implanting the Pegasus virus that can't be detected, yet they can turn on your cell phone or your tablet or your computer and listen and watch your conversations without you knowing it. Facebook admits they can do that. Think about it. When are you going to wake up and say, this government has declared war on myself and my family, and we are no longer free? Are you prepared to take up arms, if necessary, to force these corrupt officials out of office, rehold fair and free elections, clean out Washington, arrest the people that perpetrated the lies on a continuous basis? Open borders. Do you think the train derailments are an accident? Possibly. Seems awful weird that they keep happening all the time. Food warehouses, at least 30 gone up in flames. Think that's an accident? Think about it. Seems radical, but is it really? What are you willing to put on the line to defend the freedom? It's a lot of talk from a lot of people, not a lot of action. You think about that when you're saying, yeah, I'm a prepper. Really? Are you prepared not only to feed your family, feed yourself, but take a stand? Part of it. Greg out.